All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the CTS Live podcast. We got a bonus edition tonight because of Mobile World Congress. And with us tonight, we have Garnie. What's up, Garnie? How's it going?
Good. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing all right. Javon, what's up?
What's going on, guys? Hey, thanks for joining us, Garnie.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I know you guys are pretty excited tonight to get into this mobile tech field. I'm not quite the enthusiast like you two, but we'll get through it. All right.
Yeah, we get our geek on for you.
Right. All right. So first up, let's start with Samsung. They didn't do too much detail on the phones. They're trying to say that till later, but we did have this new tablet. So what do you guys think about this, Javon?
Yeah, man, this is the Galaxy Tab S3. Now we had I think a rumor report last podcast about this, and everything is true. We got Snapdragon 820. The Retina 4.4:3 aspect ratio display, the same iPad ratio. Interesting though, we got an S Pen that comes bundled with it. It has a quad speaker setup. It has a glass. This is the first time we have a tablet with a glass on glass design with the aluminum USB-C. So it's a gorgeous tablet. It's definitely on the high end scale with the high end price. It looks really good, and it's going to compete great against the iPad this year.
All right, now Garnie, is this something that could be used for enterprise, or is this a productivity device?
That's always a great debate. It's like it's a tab. How many of us have actually thought about tablets in the last 6 months, right? And that's the hardest part: is could the tablets be coming back again? And for me, that's always the big thing. I've had the Nexus, I had the 7 and the 9, I've had previous tabs before, got an iPad. But when you really look at it, can I actually use this in the office? If you're going to spend that kind of money for this thing, why not go with a Chromebook? I mean, seriously. And that's where, unless you do a lot of handwriting where the S Pen kicks in, why don't you save some money and go with a good Chromebook? I mean, something that will last you for a while, because, they're small, they're compact. We're going to be typing is faster than writing unless you do a lot of drawing. That's why I'm going from an enterprise point of view. Yeah, for sure. Now, I noticed that this pen does not actually slot into the tablet. Did that surprise you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think yes, because Apple doesn't slot into their tablet. It's Samsung. No, but honestly though, I think because of the design, this is a full-on pen this time instead of the little stylus.
Right.
This is supposed to be a more natural writing and drawing. It's supposed to be a professional tool, which I would assume all S Pens are, but this one is aimed to be more professional.
Yeah, but again, I go right back to the thing. Unless you're doing some kind of graphic designs or you're doing a bunch of drawing, I can't see that writing is there. I mean, the cradle is just huge. I mean, and if you think about how many of us lost our favorite ink pens in the bottom of our backpacks or duffel bags that we carry to the office, right? So that. And of course, the case doesn't show. I don't want to be a detractor from it, but from the pictures, I just don't see a place where I could place that pen and be secure about it. But hey, here's the thing: it's if you draw, if you write, if that's your thing, hey, this might be something seriously considering, because a lot of times you're in offices, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Seriously,
sure.
So. And that might be worthwhile, but I just don't see that. I mean, you could draw on an iPad, you could draw on other tabs. Some of the other things that we have out there from our friends at Chromebooks and things like the Flip, you could draw on those too, and I'm sure they're going to be less expensive.
But that does bring up a good point for me, because when I think about my workflow, I actually use an iPad most of the time for work, because I find it less cumbersome than to carry around my MacBook. But there's a certain, I guess crutch right now in software when it comes to these mobile platforms. I don't feel like it's a productive platform. iOS is not a productive platform. Android in its current state really isn't a productive platform. You can do productivity applications, you know what I'm saying? But I don't pick up my iPad and be like, let's get to work. It's more like a convenience of getting as a portal quickly to email, chat messages, and look up tickets and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think we're still tied to that that full Windows experience, Windows laptop experience from that. Now, I'm really encouraged.
Now this isn't the keyboard, right?
Right. This does have that keyboard with a cover, and yeah, this is encouraging because how many of us have heard that the tabs are going away, and I still use my Nexus 9 as an e-reader and browser and things like that, but it's encouraging that it may still have the market. I guess time will see.
I hope so. I hope it does well.
Yeah. My only main concern is the Snapdragon 820. I feel like we're a little bit late to be still using that processor. And secondly, I'm looking at this the glass. While it's pretty, I really wish we would stop going for looks with this technology.
Yeah.
You drop that and it's done. And
my tablet drops a lot.
Yeah.
About it. Yeah. That's very true.
I mean, it's better that the front is glass. You know what I mean? Why we have the back glass also? Oh man,
we need to get that bulletproof glass layer on top of it, shatterproof. But yeah, too many cracked corners.
Yeah. Well, anything else with this tablet, you guys? You guys satisfied with that?
Good. I'm encouraged.
Yeah,
I'm glad they're out.
Yeah, well, since Greg's not here, I'll say we'll wait and see.
We'll see.
All right. Next up, we got LG. Now this is a beautiful piece of equipment. Yeah. The LG G6 has landed. All right, Javon, you buying this one? You are, aren't you?
You know what, man? I want to. This is the first non-stock Android phone that's not from OnePlus or Google or anything that I'm really like, I really want this phone. This is objectively the best looking phone of this year that I've seen so far. It's a weird 18:9, which is pretty much 1:2 aspect ratio, display, and it's gorgeous high resolution. This is definitely LG is they messed up bad with the G5. They know they did, hardware and software, and it seems that they really captured a lot of that feedback and stuck to a phone that's really just good. The price tag is to be determined, but if the price tag is right, I'm talking about $600-700. I know that sounds super high, but because of the rumors of Apple and Samsung dropping $1,000 phones this year, if they can price it $600-700, man, this could be a hit. This looks really good. Even software from LG looks pretty good. Looks good.
How about you, Garnie?
You know what? $600. They're coming late to the game. It's an underclocked Snapdragon 821. The same speed and the cycles as the Pixel, the Google Pixel. That 5.7 with 560 plus pixel density, dude. That's pretty amazing. But you got to ask yourself, $600 for, could you now find a used Pixel to do the same? What I'm really impressed about it is its IP68. I mean, it could take the water, take the splashes, perfect for a teenager, sitting, drop the phone in or walking with the rain. I mean, that's a key thing. So for me, I'm kind of split. Would I purchase this thing? It's wait and see. I like the idea. I don't know about the skin. I still need to check out what the skin is like, but having dual 13 megapixel cameras and a wide angle 5 meg, that intrigues me. I'm thinking how many selfies you could take with that wide angle.
The camera tech looks really good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a 3,000 milliamp hour battery, or 3,300 milliamp hour. That's pretty close to the OnePlus 3Ts and things like that. Let's see how that goes, especially if you underclock the 821.
See, and a lot of people are seeming really bummed out because of the 821. Let me be the first to tell you guys, that is not a problem. Yes, we have the 835 coming out around the corner. It's been announced already. We know what it's like 25% faster, whatever. But just know that's ridiculous speed. This processor is only like a few months old. This is really, really a good chip. Unfortunately, LG wasn't able to get ahead of the purchasing curve and able to reserve them some copies. But I'm really confident about the hardware. The specs is really solid for the money. And like Garnie said, if the price is in line with the Pixel XL, it does come the question, You know, do you get the Pixel XL? Do you get this phone? We don't. I personally, from what I've seen, the camera is almost as good as the Pixel, not as good from the reviews that I've seen. And software is a big determining factor. Do you want that pure Google experience? Do you not? And Android and Google Assistant really isn't a selling point anymore for the Pixel. So you have to look at like the overall value. And I think IP68, that's a really good value. The battery is slightly smaller than the Pixel XL, but it's a very good battery size. The display, to me, the design is really inspiring. It's definitely a better design than the Pixel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, as far as design, no, this is what I was thinking the Pixel was going to be. Looking at this phone, like this is what I expected, not a iPhone clone. Is how the Pixel looked. It looks like an iPhone. It looks like an iPhone. This looks like something other than the iPhone, and I like the thin bezel. I think it's just a beautiful phone. I usually don't care about how phones look, really. But I think this is just a beautiful device.
Now, am I correct that this one also has key charging, where you can actually put it on those key chargers without so you don't?
Yeah, it has. There's dual wireless charging, so it works with the key and the PDMA standard. So it works for those Starbucks and things like that. Really quick, Garnie, you having a little audio feedback there?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, how's that?
Try again.
Too much.
Sorry.
Too much. Too much.
I don't know. It's like a static. I'm not sure what happened.
That's not good. Is it
Give
still
it
there?
the cord. Always the cord. Just twist it.
Unplug and replug in. No,
I
is it
agree.
really bad? I'll bounce out and bounce back in if I need to.
Okay.
You let me know.
All right. But yeah, just kind of quickly going, back on the G6. I feel like this is LG's chance to shine. And the reason why I say this is because although we have already seen the Galaxy S8 in all of its glory, there's nothing that we can see from the Galaxy S8 and be like, oh my gosh, this is so surprising. It's been leaked to death over the last weekend. As of right now, I'm really kind of certain this is, the LG G6 could really be the phone that someone goes into the AT&T or T-Mobile and be like, I don't know. They're both really good, and I think price is a determining factor. Now, to geek specs, that's a different story. And Samsung put 6 gigs of RAM and a Snapdragon 835, and I mean, it's going to be a hard sell. But I think from what I've seen just from the design, it sounds weird. Although the curved edges on the Galaxy looks nice, I kind of still prefer that little look that the LG has. I don't know.
I like it. I mean, yeah, really like as you said, feature-wise, this has all the features that you would want.
Yeah,
wireless charging, is got USB-C. It's got, the waterproofing. It's got expandable storage. Decent sized battery. Cameras. 4K. So it's got everything you need. It's not the most powerful, but it does all the stuff that you want.
As of right now, it's the most powerful. Right? With the rest of the 821 phones, as of right now, this moment, it's and no one's gonna buy a. This phone comes out this month for sale, so no one's gonna buy a Galaxy S8 when this phone drops right away. So
that's true.
Some people will wait, but if you're not going to wait, and if you're really looking for something that's different than what you've already seen, you're not gonna find anything that drastically different than this phone. These phones seem to be the same, to be honest with you. So, also we got a comment from Albert Elmer. What's up, y'all? What's up, bro? What's up? What's happening?
Welcome, Albert.
Welcome. And
all right. So far, Samsung, LG looking good so far. So let's move on to Huawei. They had a couple of nice showings here. First up, we got this Huawei P9 and P9 Plus. I like their iPhone naming. I guess iPhone didn't patent the word plus, right? Or
all right. I don't think, surprisingly, right?
Plus TM. No, it's just all right. So what do we like about these phones, you guys?
To tell you, there's a lot of write up here about the cameras on the back of this thing, and with a 12 megapixel and a 20 megapixel camera on the back. Think about the opportunities. We know that the latest iPhone has that, and the best part about these things, guys, is that it opens up a whole new world for creativity. That's what I love about these things, is that companies now, Yvonne, you talked about these things are becoming commoditized. Now, what can we do to take them to the next level? What will really reach other people? And I've got to believe it's got to be the camera, right? It's actually using some really creative ways to take some awesome photos, different ways of taking photos, instead of just saying, oh, click, I'm done. I hope that makes sense, because think about it, a lot of us who, oh man, that would be a great black and white. You know, which lens are you going to use? Could you use both lenses? Could you do some really neat stuff post-processing? That's what I'm getting out of all of this. I mean, to me, it's not just they came out with another phone. It's coming out with a dual camera phone, and they're really trying to step into that market.
Yeah. And I think the best thing they've ever did was team up with Leica. Leica's a great imaging brand, and not just because it's a high-end brand, but because their optics seem to really tune out really good photo results. And I've been seeing a lot of side-by-side testing with the P9 and the G6 versus the iPhone 7, these dual camera phones. And the P9 and the P10 really seems to step out above the rest. It does seem to be the superior photo take your phone, even in the whole portrait mode thing, where you get the strong lens blur in the background, that bokeh effect. But the weird thing about this phone is that no one here can really get it. They're not going to release a US version, and it kind of sucks, because this phone is another looker. You know, this phone looks really good. It has a lot of good colors, you know, which sounds weird to say, but you know, green looks really good on this phone. You know, blue looks really good on this phone. This is definitely, and if you guys are watching this live, you can check down in the links in the description below. We have links for all this stuff here, and you can really see, like, a lot of people say this looks like an iPhone 7 Plus and whatnot. This phone looks unique. It looks like kind of like a Nexus 6P to me, to be honest with you. And really nice design, curved edges. I mean, phones can only look, you know, so curved and square or rectangular nowadays. But specs wise, has its own KeyOne processor chip in there. I think it's the 955 or the 950, which, you know, they're proprietary chip, but it seemed to be just as fast as the Exynos and Snapdragon equivalents out there.
I think control the costs, right? I mean,
yeah. You know, they control their costs. It's for some reason they just can't get that go ahead from the government, to sell their phones here. Something happened in 2012. Not really sure exactly what it is, but if you take a look, you know, even in the link below, and you look at that portrait mode, this looks like a camera for this year. This looks like a phone camera that's just better than what we had last year. And that's hard. Last year was a really tough ladder to climb. For phone cameras, because we had the S7, we had the Pixels, we had the what was it? What do we have? We had the V20, the iPhone. There was a lot of hot phones last year. HTC had a good phone. Keep forgetting about them. They had a pretty good phone last year. A phone camera and good phone. But it just seems to be really just spectacular. The only thing it looks like that the P9 can't do really, really well right now, and that's low light, which was definitely a strength of last year's phones. But in adequate lighting, it seems to be just one of the best looking camera phones right now. And I'm sure this is going to compete really well against Samsung's phone this year and LG's phone. So if you're a European market, or if you're in the Chinese market, this is another compelling offer where, you know, the price seems to be right. It seems to be priced around $500 to $700. That's a more competitive price nowadays, especially with Brexit going on. This is a you know what I'm saying? This is a competitive price phone. It looks good. Huawei software is seeming to get better over time. Still not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. But you know, it's a good phones this year, man.
Yeah. So let's say this phone came over to the US. Would you get it for that price?
For 500?
Yeah.
For $500-$700, if I was in the market for a non-Android phone, no, not over. I mean, sorry, a stock Android phone. Not over the G6, depending on price. If we're expecting the G6 to be around that same price point, I wouldn't buy this over the G6, just because of software. But if this ran some type of Oxygen OS, some type of stock Android, hell yes. I'll pick this over anything. This is a great design.
So that the camera isn't quite enough then. So the camera is important, but not enough to
me, but for the average consumer, it might be.
You think so? Yeah, that's true.
I think they value cameras and phones now as their primary camera most of the time. Pretty highly.
Yeah, I mean, if you think of the Apple, if you look at the iPhone line, I mean, the assumption is great camera, great device, great piece of hardware, great piece of art. And now you're starting to see Huawei come up and say, "Me too." Right? It's that opportunity. It says, "Look, we could do this too." And if they can control their costs with the processors, bring the price point down, yeah, will we sacrifice on their version of the skins on top of Android? That might be a drawback for some of us who are hardcore Android users, but hey, for the average player, hey, if I get two great cameras with a lot of options behind that, it looks good, feels good, and I can play, it rocks.
Yeah. Yeah, I know for me, the only reason that I even switched to Android at all is because I got a Google phone, because I'm kind of a update, latest version addict. And I could not handle other phones having something before I had it. And with Apple, when something's released, you have it that day. There's no waiting. And so I appreciate, having the Pixel phone for that reason. Otherwise, I'd probably would have stuck with iOS. I wouldn't be able to take it. So that's the one thing that would always detract me from getting, something that wasn't stock Android. So it had to be a very nice piece of software, very nice camera, and a lot of stuff to really push me to do that. But most people aren't really that way. They're like, it works. It takes my pictures. I can do my email. I can watch YouTube. It looks pretty. And the price is right.
Yeah.
For sure. So speaking of price and things that we need or may not need, how about this new Huawei Watch 2? Pre-ordered, Jovan? Pre-ordered?
You know what? This one really hurt me because I was a huge fan of the first Huawei watch. I mean, like, I think I bought two of these. Because I couldn't decide which design I wanted more, and I could have just bought new bands, but I was just like, this watch is so great. So I was, even though everyone knows I went out and I got both of the Google LG watches, I was like, in my mind, I was like, if
I don't understand.
sorry, oh
Google's
my gosh,
talking to you.
you're right, she's over there, but
I'm gonna turn my mic off.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm about to, but if I all right. But if I could, just see if Huawei's Watch 2 could be that watch for me, and I looked it up, and then I was just so heartbroken, purely based on design.
You don't like it?
A lot of people are like, it's great because it's thinner than the LG Watch Sport, and it has the same fitnessy look, but it looks like a G Watch, man. It looks like a G Shock. With the two buttons, but everyone's going to the digital crown. Android OS 2.0 looks like it's designed for that digital crown or a rotating bezel, and not having that is a huge deal. And I don't care about LTE. I don't care about GPS. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted NFC with that smooth design that they're used to making. With that sapphire display and all that other jazz. I don't know, man. I'm really. Bro, I don't know.
I did not notice was just missing that digital crown, which is interesting. I wonder, why they would do that. Were they late to the party? They didn't realize this was happening, and too late. They already had the watch design.
Well, rumors said last year they weren't planning on making an Android watch. Remember that last year they were like, they were one of the ones that were even considering moving over to Tizen's OS from Samsung, but maybe they saw Android Watch 2.0, like, oh, this is nice. And then they were just like, with the digital crown, I don't have one.
Right, exactly.
I don't know.
I think the kicker here is the NFC Google Pay opportunity. I mean, have to wave your watch in front of the pad and boom, you paid. I think that will be a big draw. I mean, it looks cool. If you haven't bought, now for us, we have several watches, right? So I think the key thing is if you haven't received one before, you haven't used one before, or you're looking to get back into it, this might be a good looking watch to go with. I mean, I still use my Moto 360 second gen. Love that thing. But this one looks pretty. It looks like you can interchange the bands on this, and the thing is, effectiveness is, hey, if I can do NFC on it, or pay on it, that might be a nice little convenient. So if it I would actually step out and buy it. But yeah, it looks okay. I used to have a G, and I love those things. And there was a good one. Like I said, non-rotatable and a crown. And I don't know. I like my Moto hockey puck. Look that way.
You've got a little bit of robot from you there, Garnie.
No, not again. I wanted my daughter's watching Netflix.
Yeah, it's probably what it is. It's like a bandwidth issue there.
Well,
sorry.
Garnie's gonna cut out for a second.
All right, we're gonna take her off of Netflix. But actually, to go back on the Huawei Watch here, you know, like I do think it's a great opportunity for us to get Android Pay in people's hands. You know, being able to use the watch as a standalone device. But I don't think we know exactly what watches are standalone devices or accessories to the phone. You know, we're still in this we don't know phase. So to just focus on the watch the watch itself, I don't think the Huawei Watch has enough pizzazz for the asking price, and I don't think it has enough. What's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't have enough of a eye-catching watch design, or you know, whether it's that futuristic tech / elegant watch look. Now the watch classic looks pretty good, but the regular Huawei Watch 2, which should be called Huawei Watch 2 Sport. I don't know why it's not called. It's emphasizing the fitness on that, you know,
right.
But you know, the Huawei Watch Classic, which has that leather, you know, that more classic lugs design.
That's the one I like.
Yeah, you know, that one looks fine. I'm not sure if it's the same price at all, but they didn't really mention too much details on pricing. Yeah. But I feel like for the entry price, which is $350, how much better is this one compared to the LG Watch Sport? It depends on the individual and their wrist size. Because for me, LG Watch Sport fits fine. And if you're a big wrist or a big type of person, I feel like that, and you have the hand size or the beefy wrist for it, I think you should definitely use that one over it, just based off of design and functionality and the digital crown. But if you're someone that needs the latest, greatest specs and wants to have GPS and NFC, and you're looking for a watch that probably fits your wrist, that's probably one of the better ones.
Right.
Then.
Now, I have a question because, you know, as these watches become detached from the phones, I'm curious about something like NFC Android Pay. How does that work if I only have the watch, and let's say I leave it somewhere, someone just takes it off my wrist? Can they start going around and ting, 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 you know, we'll run a 7-Eleven or...
You do have to set up a pin or a pattern on your watch.
On the watch. Okay, so it's not just touch and pay.
Yeah, it's not. It is touch and pay after you do the pattern.
The code. Okay, that's
right. and
better. I was concerned.
And actually, it's even more secure than even the phone because it creates a limit of 10 tokens. So after 10 purchases, you have to reset it by going back to your home with your watch. It's with your phone. Like your phone and your watch have to talk to each other after like 10 times or something like that.
That's good. Yeah, I found that, you know, this is a quick side note, but using Android Pay with my Pixel, you know, all you have to do is have the phone unlocked and it works. Yeah. Right? Versus with the iPhone, each time you must actually put your finger on that fingerprint reader to actually make the purchase. And I felt more secure doing that than just the phone is unlocked, so now it works. You know, I always feel a little bit nervous about that.
I mean, but
it's very similar. It's very similar. Just keep the phone locked, I guess, you know, at all times. But
step away from paper.
Yes. How's it going, Garnie? We got the robot taken care of.
I don't know. I'm asking you, I guess. How's this sound? Okay now.
Sounds like a little bit like the Garnie remix.
Remix. Let me lot, and I'll come back again. How's that?
All right. We'll look for you later, Garnie. Thanks.
Sorry, guys, having technical difficulties.
The internet. Sorry. All right. Well, let's move on to. Now, is it Xiaomi? Is that how you pronounce this? Is it Xiaomi? Xiaomi. I'm not up on my my Chinese, but what are they doing, Jovan?
So
looks like
Xiaomi
their own processor now.
Yeah. So this was weird because Xiaomi they usually come up with some phones during MWC, and this time they were just like no phones. You know, they're on that Apple Samsung thing now. Everybody's trying to be independent. You have our own event, you know, but they did drop a gem, man. They are making their own processor. And this is seeming to be a trend with a lot of companies now, stepping away from Qualcomm, stepping away from MediaTek. And that's a big one, MediaTek, too, because they're a huge supplier of Xiaomi processors. And, they're making their own homemade processor, and I'm wondering, you know, is this a move that's good for sales in the U.S.? Because I know they're saying that they want to expand in the U.S. and as of right now, I know the U.S. does not like having these Chinese processors on our networks. And I don't think this was a move catered to put in maybe in their flagship, so their phones they plan on bringing to the U.S. Or maybe they have something down the road we don't know about. Maybe they have a relationship, you know, with the FCC and whatever, trying to get, you know, these processors approved. I don't know, but it's cool that they made one for the Chinese market. And in terms of performance, it looks, from what they say, very energy efficient. So I don't know what that's code name for not as powerful, but we can say some battery life, or maybe they figured out the code and high power and long lasting battery life. We don't know yet.
Right. So do we know exactly, you know, where they're getting kind of the actual the chips from? Because I know like Apple is basically using, you know, ARM chips. Is this going to be based on ARM, or is this some other kind of technology?
I want to say ARM. I want to say ARM, just like Qualcomm and Apple and everyone like that. I'm not totally sure whether or not they have their own architecture, but I don't think that you can really make a good one now anyway. I mean, you know, it just seems like ARM really has a foothold in that mobile silicone.
Yeah, that'd be too much work, right? I mean, really, at this point, it's really what ARM, and is Intel even in the game?
They're not even
anymore.
The mobile anymore. They were, but
yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they were trying to let it go.
Yeah, they stopped making the Atom chip because of I guess sales, and you know, I think that whole, what was it, that ASUS experiment when they had all that stuff. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I think at this point, if it's not an ARM based processor, you don't even bother with it.
Yeah.
If you're a company, you know, it doesn't seem,
because then you need your own software, and you know that's a lot of integration you have to do.
Even Apple with their silicon, that's not really their silicon. It's, you know, they just they brand it, but it's just ARM,
it's custom.
ARM chips. Yeah, you know, it's
for sure. So how about this phone overall? Is there much about this, or is it going to be in the US? This is the Mate 9.
The Mate 9, which one? The Xiaomi, the Huawei Mate 9?
The Xiaomi, right? No.
Let me see here.
Oh, that's the Huawei. That's right.
It's Huawei. Yeah, Huawei. Yeah. The I think it's here. Let me see here. So in Cure and processor. Yeah. So pretty much, there's no phones, I think, right now technically slated to be in there. I think that what they were saying is that they want to be like Huawei, because Huawei is the number 3 manufacturer now, which they bumped out Xiaomi for that spot. So it definitely seems like they're dabbing they're getting their feet wet. I'm not even sure if they're gonna put this in their flagship phones. You know, I just feel like
apparently they had nothing to show, so they said, well, here's this thing that we might be doing. So hey,
it's Xiaomi. They always do some weird stuff.
All right. Good stuff. Hey, Garnie.
Hey. How's this? I hope I'm not a robot again.
We still got a little bit of remix going.
Yeah, man.
I tell you know what? I will say this. I cannot wait Google Fiber to show up at our front door.
yes.
I tell this Spectrum. Even though we got the top on Spectrum, it just at 300 megs, it's just not cutting. No.
Yes. Sounds like it.
Wait, what's your router setup? Do you have Google Home in the house?
I got Google Mesh. You darn I do. So
good, man. Jeez, man. Oh, there goes my solution. I don't have anything after
that. All right, guys. Well, let's jump on to Motorola. We got the G5 and the G5 Plus.
Yeah,
everybody's got the Plus going on.
I know. It's terrible.
What do you guys think about this one?
You know, not super excited. I know Mike used to be a huge fan of the G series because it used to offer a huge bang for a buck. But I feel like they're kind of moving away from that bang the buck, just to more like, here's a good looking phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you say that? Like, they're trying to like feature like this image of a high end phone, while they're going lower in processing power again. And I don't know. At one point, they were going higher and higher, you know, to the point where we thought we were going to start getting 650s and 625s and, you know, the processors in these phones. And they spent a lot more money in the premium design. You know, this all metal this time around. Both versions has USB-C, has a fingerprint scanner that looks better. Remember the crap they had from the G4?
Yeah.
Jeez, man, that square. My God.
Right.
You know, but specs wise, what the hell, man? Like, are they? You know what? You know, software. You know, Motorola's been great at software. I don't care what anyone says. Stock Android is the way to go. Especially if you're selling phones that are underpowered. You know, it has, you know, Google Assistant, and it's going to have all that, you know, similar nougat love that you're going to get. And it's a 5.5 inch or 5-inch screen and a 5 inch and a 5.2 inch screen. So it's not really a big size jump either. But they're focusing this time more on the camera and less on the internal hardware. And actually, I want to rephrase what I said earlier. They're still using micro USB, not USB-C. Apologize.
All right. Well, you know, here's the thing though. Looking at this, okay, so we got all 4 major carriers: T-Mobile, Sprint, Verizon, AT&T.
It's been
all right
for a while.
You know, so you know, it's broad distribution, at least here in the U.S. Price point, looking at $229 for 2 gigs of RAM, $279 for 4 gigs of RAM. So as far as a quality low end phone,
yeah, definitely entry level phone. Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yes, it's fine.
This is going to be
middle
successful?
school you know,
Yeah.
middle school, perfect. I mean, that's what your G line is supposed to. You know that you don't think of premium designs out of the G. You think of utility can get the job, and if they happen to can kick it across school floor, you know, $300, could you live with that?
Yeah, for sure. I think my dad even just got the one of the older, I think the G4 or the G3 even. He just wanted kind of something that was smart, but that was, you know, cheap and it can do it, you know, the basics.
See, and that's where, you know, Motorola does really well in getting that really, really early mid-range pricing. You know, that no one can compete with them on pricing to phone. You know, they did the best when it comes to that. Now, last year we saw a huge supply of G4s being sold for Motorola because of the partnership with Amazon. They loaded some bloatware, made it a
oh right, yeah. It's like almost free, right?
Yeah, it was damn near free. It was $50, you know.
Yeah.
And for the higher end model, it was like $150 or $200. And during Black Friday, they had some crazy sales for like $70. You know, that is something I can possibly see happening with this phone again. And if that is to be the case, then that might actually increase the value of this phone. Now, I will say this: the higher end G5 Plus may be the phone, like the mid-range phone to get, because at that point we're looking at the 650 processor, or which is more powerful than the 617 that was in the Plus last year, and the 625 processor was also in the Moto Z Play of last year. And that processor, it seems to be the best mix of battery life and performance. It's not going to be any benchmark apps or anything. It's fast enough to do what you want to do, and it can give you some serious stamina. I remember you did a review for the Moto Z Play. You know,
yeah. I mean, again, horsepower wise, you know, it's not gonna, you know, amaze you, but again, it's a utility phone. You know, it's gonna last and it's gonna work and it's gonna be sturdy. You know, the important things. You're gonna drop it, it's gonna, you know, break in half. They're strong phones.
Let me throw this in. Let me throw this in here. All right, I fell in love with the third generation G3. The G, yeah, and it was a great phone. The reason being because it had the IPC or 57 and tough little utilitarian phone. It could last all day, and it was cheap, and the price of processors coming down. Could we see the you know, why couldn't we just keep that same mantra? Take away features from a device. Why don't we stick to the things we know is true? Like, for example, hey, proofing. Our middle school and high school students, that's perfect, right? It's a utility phone. It's great. I was just disappointed in. I did fall in love with it. I didn't give it a look. I just didn't. And this intrigues me now with the plus aspect of it. But you're missing the waterproofing, the stuff that they had. I think Motorola is still trying to find their niche. That's what I see them doing. Last few releases, it's like they're trying their niche, and they're going in and out of air that to me it just shows consistency. And that's just my personal view.
Yeah, I think it would make sense for them, since they do have this focus on the lower end, to really start, I guess I use the word hardening or making these low end phones ultra durable, because I think that's going to be the future for these cheap phones. Again, if you're getting a cheap phone, you probably don't have money to buy another one. It's not, you're not buying it because you like cheap phones. You're buying it because that's what you can afford. So you probably don't want it breaking just because you dropped it, or maybe at the work site and you need something to be sturdy. I think they could really take off there, because we'll talk a little bit later with Nokia. I think is on the right track.
Yeah, I'm impressed that they're coming the one. So we'll see.
All right, well, I'm going to jump around a little bit. I'm going to go down to HTC, the HTC Ultra, another beautiful phone here. HTC has been kind of dropping as far as the rankings. Do we think that this will allow them to hang on, or might this be their last year?
Headphone jack.
Man, they're going to be a Foxconn. That's what I gotta say. They're going to be making pictures for the rest of their lives. Yeah, this was a bad move. This was a very bad move by HTC. Not a strategic move. I'm not sure what they were thinking here. 3 big reasons here. Number 1, right? Price for specs. This is the same spec phone as the Pixel and the Pixel XL, right? But that's only for the bigger model. They're selling 2 models of this phone, the U and the U Ultra. The U has like some Snapdragon 670 or 625 or whatever, some weirdness. Let me see what it is. It's definitely a lower spec phone. Well, the U Ultra, the bigger version, has the 821, has a higher end display, and has that ticker display like the LG V20. A gimmick, right? On top of that, when you did so well with the HTC 10, and granted, we don't know this is the replacement to the HTC 10. This will be assumed. Now this phone did release or announced in January. We got to see it full hands-on at MWC. Man, it's hard. It's a hard sell. It does something right. It has USB-C. I think it has water resistance. But no headphone jack, and using their own Google Assistant or their own virtual assistant thing. I'm not sure what they're planning here. The price is too high for the phone that they're offering. It's not good.
So am I? Yeah. So am I looking at this as says $750?
Yeah.
And we're missing a head. It's a glass front glass, so you better get a case for it. Yeah, and it's smaller battery. I guys. No. it just doesn't make me. I mean, the OnePlus 3T, bigger and all that good. Cheaper price. It's price. It's price utilitarian. I don't know. This is glass. It just, and this is what I'm seeing here. It doesn't attract me. It doesn't seem to doesn't grab me. It's just not sleek enough. And boy, that ugly. That aluminum blue is ugly. I'm sorry.
It's a very tough sell. It's a tough sell.
Yeah, and I mean, yes, guys. This is the first tonight. We're talking headphone jack being gone. We see people going this direction. We've seen other phones going this direction. Now we've got other phone with no headphone jack. What do you think? Is Bluetooth stay? Looking at digital headset all over again for those who still love the wired headset. I do. Is this destined? I don't know. I just feel that forcing us to move in a direction because the USB-C connection is not a standard when it comes to the signal sync. There is no standard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're trying to create a standard, which is, and the problem is that no one's going to jump aboard. Hopefully with the iPhone 8, Apple puts their foot down with the standard USB-C. This is the standard. Everyone's like, okay, fine. That's what I'm hoping for. Because unfortunately, so sadly, Google does not have the clout to just be like, all right, guys, this is the standard. Stick with it, But I do think eventually we are in the transition of moving away from from ports in general. Especially when it comes to non-USB type C ports. So, do I think this is a eventual switch? Yes. Do I think that we need to do it right now? No. Do I think every device needs to not have an auxiliary port? No. Because of headphones. Do we need one because of cars anymore? No. Bluetooth is more preferred in cars now. Do we need one, for like streaming audio and stuff? No. But because you're not streaming at a high DAC quality anyway. But when it comes to headphones, what these phones are doing, yet this phone also has a higher end DAC in it. Why not put a headphone jack? Like, it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? You're going to focus on audio, but you're not going to put a headphone jack to focus on it. And they're saying because of USB-C speeds and pass through, they can put their new virtual assistant in the earbuds, and it just sounds like a gimmick. And right now, a company like them, they don't need any gimmicks. You need a phone. You need a solid phone, and this is not really that solid phone. The specs are great. Design is subjectively okay, but I'm just not super sold. And we had a drop in from Mike. What's going on, Mike?
What is happening?
What's up, guys? I wanted to, say hi to all my fans after I got up, kind of tired, sleeping on this hotel-like bed. What's up, guys? Y'all heard y'all talk about MWC. Did you already talk about the OnePlus 3T? I mean, the OnePlus 5 rumors and all that, Jeff?
Not yet.
We did not. We did not.
Okay, because I saw somebody put in the chat like Oxygen OS for the win, so I was like, no, we did not.
There was some fanboyism going on there.
Okay, all right, bet. What's going on?
All right, not much. You know what? We're gonna take it old school for you because I know you like vintage things. BlackBerry is back, y'all. I mean, they didn't leave technically, but it is back. It is the physical keyboard. Who's excited about this?
Okay, see, we talked about this before, Christian. You already know how I feel about the keyboard stuff. Come on, son. You gotta chill with that keyboard stuff, man. You can't do that. Come on, get out of here with that. It's 2017.
Devon, you're excited? Yeah, keyboard.
I like it, man. That keyboard it's different than the Priv. It's different than the Priv. It seems very tactile, and it has a feature you can use it as like a trackpad. If you rub your two fingers against it or whatever,
and everything on it. Like, there's my thing with that. It is 2017. Why do you need a mouse on a friggin' mobile device? Come on now. Like, why do you?
There are enterprise users that will not switch from Blackberries, man. This is that phone that will hopefully,
get them back.
I like this.
When it's cold in Canada, you don't want to have to use the touchscreen. You can just use your gloves and type normally.
They have touchscreen gloves.
Boom. Boom.
They have touchscreen. Wait, did Garnie drop off?
Uh-oh. I think we lost Garnie, but we gained Mike, who's chilling in the bed apparently.
Sorry, guys. I know it's unprofessional, but I had to come in. Get you guys some motivation out here. Fresh out the shower, I wanted to talk about the OnePlus 5. That's really what I came on here for.
Really?
Hey, we have a minute. You want to tell us about the rumors, man, that we're hearing for the OnePlus 5?
Okay, so as we were talking about earlier, Javon, we were talking about it could potentially have the Snapdragon. What was it? The 835 this time?
Yeah, 835. Yeah,
and that's more processing power than the 8. What did we just get in the OnePlus
821? Yeah, 821, man.
That's crazy. But they're already thinking. Well, that is, of course, if they actually decide to use the 835. That is strictly just a rumor. We've also heard that it has a 20 megapixel front camera. No, 20 megapixel rear camera and a 16 megapixel front camera now. So we're getting an upgrade for the back camera, so that's amazing. Of course, you're gonna have the Oxygen OS with the new get on
whatever
there.
Whatever new version comes out, I guess at the time.
So awesome, and I think they said it could be dropping this summer.
Yeah, drop this summer with a curved display, man.
Yeah, so they're going with the Samsung like design. It should be double curved. So
and then they're gonna up the resolution up.
yeah, so I gotta say, if this is actually do you think we're gonna get 4K with this one?
I maybe two or over Quad HD Plus or whatever they're planning on dropping nowadays. But I guess it really does depend on it depends on OnePlus's their pricing point, because they've always been aimed to give you that value high end phone. Can you really sell a OnePlus phone with all that specs? You know what I'm saying, at that price?
No, I guarantee the phone the OnePlus 5 will be a higher price tag than what we just purchased for the OnePlus 3T. And remember how I complained about that? So I'm not gonna make the price hike. However, we all know I'm still gonna buy it.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be pretty good, man.
What are we going to bet on? What prices? Is it going to be $579 now, or that? Is that
I want to say.
where we're headed?
I want to say maybe 300, 320. I'm
No.
sorry. 500 to 520. I apologize. 300, but 500 to 520, maybe like 529 or something.
I'm gonna go with 570.
570.
Yeah. I was going to go with 579. Bump it up 20 that they've done before.
583.
But the price is right there.
Right, exactly. Come on down.
576.
$1.
The question is, can they keep up that demand? That last year was the first year OnePlus was able to do their phone without invites. Can they keep it up? That's the question. They sold a lot of phones back last year, and they had supply issues during the back half.
They did. Yeah.
Keep it up.
Let's see what happens this time. We were lucky to even get the models that we got. So
yeah.
That's because we wake up early in the morning to purchase that tag.
As soon as it launched, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wait.
All four of us stayed up waiting for o'clock in the morning.
Not me. I'm not the one.
Christian is. I got work. I don't care about phones right now.
I'm like, phone?
I was like, man. And Chris was the first one to be like, I'm not getting no Pixel. It's overpriced. Chris was like, I get the Pixel, guys.
Right? At that Black Friday deal, I was like, okay, well.
Gotta get it now. Gotta get it.
Got him.
So what else happened at MWC?
All right, well,
and Crush
Speaking of old school, we're taking it back now. Nokia has these this Nokia 6, 5, and even a 3. Did anybody care about these phones? Was this a popular thing?
I'm happy they're back.
So now they're I guess was it a non-compete clause or something they had with Microsoft where they couldn't make any phones for who knows how many years. So they're back making phones. Is this something worthy of
small handset? The small handset, the 3010 from Nokia. They have they won an award at MWC. So best in show.
I know
best in show.
Yeah. I was impressed. I mean, it looks like the old destructible Nokias that were around a long time. I wonder if they still indestructible.
It better be.
Is it still? Is it worth the price if it's not indestructible?
How much does it cost? Was it $50? 75? What is this?
Yeah, it was 49 pounds here. You lose about 50 or 60 bucks here.
About 50. About 50 bucks out in the US, man. You can't.
That's like a street talk, whatever.
That is ultimate trap phone pricing right there, man. We are ready to go. Like
trap. That's how you know Javon grew up in the hood. Just.
All right, Javon, translate for us. I'm from the suburbs.
So you're in the mean streets of Baltimore. There's about
I am now. I'm not from here. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Puyallup, Washington. Like no one knows where that is.
I mean, at this point, being able to, a lot of people don't need the gimmicks. We don't need the touch screens. We don't need, we don't need the text. We gotta make a phone call. In, out, hello, yeah, we got the stuff, and you're done. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about people forget about phones is that at one point, guys, we did have battery life for like a month. Okay,
right?
We had a month battery life. We just kept going down and down and down every year. Nokia is promising up to a month in standby time with this thing. They're talking about And this also, it looks like the old phone, but it's very 2017 modernist look still. So this it's a nice looking trap phone. This is the phone you give to your grandma that doesn't want to upgrade. I don't want no smartphone. I want a new phone. My phone is broken. You have that flip phone.
No,
That's singular.
No. This is the phone your kids wounded.
The grounded phone.
I'm looking at this for my son Jaden. He's 10, right? And he's when he's gonna get a phone, and I'm like, this is something that is a utility device. Again, this is something for when you need to call someone, which is what the phone is for at that age. You can call someone if you need a ride or something happens. Fine. If you got a text, make it happen. Keep it short.
He gonna learn how to text old school.
I'm like, look, we did it. I did it. Figure it out.
Wait,
figure it out.
You got a phone? You got a phone? I didn't even have one. My parents.
I mean, look, I got a phone when I was almost done with college because I had to buy it myself. My parents wouldn't get one for me.
My parents, and that was in high school. I didn't get one when I was young at all. They were like, no.
Yeah, no.
My first phone actually was the 3310, so I can't say anything. That was the Sidekick, so I took a big upgrade. So
never even touched it.
Nice. Yeah, it's surprising that this was the hot thing. Who would have thought Nokia, first of all, Nokia anything, and then this old school basic phone. But I think in general, I think we're looking for things that are simpler that will kind of be more single purpose, right? Like this is cheaper. It makes my phone calls done. I like it.
Right.
I like it.
All right,
that's the reason why I won the award. So it Archer.
I just came to troll y'all for a bit. I noticed Big Q wasn't on. I know you're supposed to be on tonight. So if he's watching, what's up, man? And y'all have a good night. How much longer y'all got?
All right, Mike. We'll be done wrapping up another 3-4 hours at least. So
Of course.
hang on tight, folks. Don't talk tonight.
All right. So.
All right, Mike. Okay. Well, that was fun, right? The
3310, man. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
That's true for you. That's true. First of all, I'm gonna ask him. Wait, he's at a hotel? I was like, wait,
he said hotel. He said hotel like
like
bed. So I don't know. Is he not at home? What
it might be like. He catching
we don't know where Mike is.
Yeah, right.
I thought he said hotel like bed.
Right. He said like.
Moto 6. I don't know.
Right. All right, y'all. We got a few more items here from Mobile World Congress, or at least related to tech. Around this same time frame. All right, y'all. Jovan is about to lose his mind over this here Porsche laptop tablet amazingness. Jovan, take it away. Take it away.
Oh my gosh! All right, hold on. I need to get a sip of water first. Let's sit here.
All right, somebody shut his PayPal account just before he gets started.
I'm sure it's too late.
Man, I'm thirsty. Oh, yo, so this is the laptop I've been talking about since last year. They beat Microsoft to the punch. So pretty much Porsche Design. Everyone knows Porsche Design. They made what are they? A couple phones before. They're high end. They're not even like high end Apple high end. They're like high end like I wipe my butt with dollar bills high end. You know what I'm saying? So first of all, this is so affordable to me, and they're in a Porsche Design aspect. But they dropped the phone last year, the Mate 9 Porsche Design. That from they teamed up with Huawei. They made that what's it called phone, and they just curved design. Beautiful glass and metal. They're so fine to the detail with their designs, and they charge a premium price. It was like a $1,200 phone or whatever, and now they're making laptops, dude. And this is their first Windows laptop, and it's competing head to head with the XPS 13, 15, and the Microsoft Surface Book. So, oh my goodness, I'm so happy, guys. I'm really happy because now now is the time we're gonna start seeing great laptops for Windows. Because I was only looking at buying MacBooks at this point because I was just like, no one's taking advantage of USB-C and all and high-end hardware. they are playing no games. So the Porsche Design laptop is a 13.3-inch laptop. It's Quad HD, not 4K. Don't need 4K on laptops just yet. Just saying. You can get it starting off with 16 gigs of RAM, 512 SSD, PCIe SSD hard drive, as well as a the 7th gen i7. So the Kaby Lake processor, great battery life. It has a beautiful aluminum magnesium design. Has a glass trackpad with all Windows drivers. It's actually a Windows 10 Pro signature design or software install. So that means that it's a purely like no bloatware. It is Windows 10 Pro. It's maxed out. It's buttery smooth. It has the right track drivers. It has a stylus support for Wacom. So it comes in the box, all for a low price of $2,495. and may I add the selling point for this laptop? It's not just because it's a touch screen and it's a 2-in-1 swivel design that you can pull off the tablet, or the laptop from its base, and it has 14 hours of battery life. Because it has 2 USB Type-C ports with Thunderbolt 3. How important is this on a laptop? Like really? Like the Surface Book. If they would have dropped that, I promise I've been on this podcast and on the Surface Book because I really wanted to love the Surface Book. 2 things killed it for me. Well, I said 3 things, but that doesn't really count. The first thing, obviously, was the gap. The fact that they couldn't close the damn laptop. That thing, that back gap, killed me. It's so ugly. And then hey man, Porsche's like, hey, listen, man, we can close it. It has a nice, really double cork design, and then on top of that, the second thing was ports. 3 USB 3.0 ports and an SD card jack. Like I know it's a professional grade laptop, but it's not a future-proof laptop. You know what I'm saying? And you don't pay top dollar and then be on last year's spec. You just don't do that. So to see a device that can now support that, I don't know if it comes with any GPUs built in or any gaming GPUs, but I know the Surface Book from last year came with a 950, right? 950 or a 970M or 980. Is it a 970M or something like that? It came with like a 2-year-old graphics mobile chip. But who needs that when you can plug in an external GPU, a full-on 1080 inside of your laptop,
which I would do,
1080 Ti, man, and plug it in there, right, and have just unlimited performance for gaming, for editing, for even crunching tasks. Because there's an i7 in there. This is the future-proof laptop that we all needed. Mic drop, they did it. They beat Microsoft to the punch.
All right, so I guess Garnie, you bought one for work already?
Yeah, I've already got an order.
Yeah.
I just want to sit at the table and just in it, so everyone can read the back of it. It just design. Don't even have to turn that thing. I mean, it's $2,500 bling, right? Everything you say it's absolutely right. I think the only challenge is 13-inch. Is the direction we're going to go? It's smaller, more powerful. If they had a 15-inch design, would that be better? I don't know. To me, 13's just a little small for what it could do. Not just getting my hands or even being able to use it, touch and run. I mean, with a pen, detachables and things like that. Now you asked the question earlier, it can it be enterprise? Absolutely, but I would like to see it a little bit later. That would be my only drawback. Saying, I'm excited for it too. I just need to close our deals to spend $2,500 for it.
Right?
That's the only thing is the $2,500 design. You say it's a fast, meant to be fast, meant to be pure, no bloat whatsoever. Have everything new and tech behind it. It looks great, but will someone like Dell come up on similar designs? I mean, A's been trying for years for this. I mean, could we one step up and could this just be the best and a lot other net books or smaller books come up from behind that? Knowing that Microsoft kind of missed it, Porsche hit it. Who's next? Could
Yeah,
it be
I mean,
a price point?
I'm looking at this. I do wonder. Apple seems to be kind of falling a little bit as far as design. They're slipping. They had it on lock for some years, and they're slipping. Could Porsche Design come in and start kind of gobbling that up? Because essentially, the way Windows 10 is being accepted, there's the nice Surface Studio that Microsoft in-house has made. Could this be something that may start to pull in those diehard, Mac OS Apple users?
Totally. And like I said, let's just talk about the new MacBook, because it definitely coincides in pricing. It's still $1,000 cheaper than the MacBook, at the same configuration, which says a lot, about this price. You're still getting, not only are you getting 2 USB Type-Cs with Thunderbolts, you're still getting 2 regular USB-A 3.1, and you're getting a micro SD card reader. So for some of the new cameras that have micro SD card or your phone or whatever, it has that. It's more than just the design. It's who they're aiming at. And I do agree with Garnie. A 15-inch version or maybe two versions of it, I doubt they can afford as a company to make 2 versions of this, because they're not going to sell, 25,000 of these, But I do think that, if they would have had maybe a 14-inch or 15-inch screen edge to edge inside of a 13-inch case framing, but at the same time, you have USB 3.0. You can plug it in with a 4K 32-inch monitor, and that's your workstation, and you can plug that in to a thermal GPU, and that's your editing rig. And it's just the fact that for Mac users who are in pro mode, we don't know what WWDC has around the corner. What we do know is that currently, right now, Mac is not, favoring that creative designer anymore. There are still Final Cut diehards out there, but outside of Final Cut, every other software that you can possibly use that was creative software for the Mac works better on Windows. The entire Adobe suite works better on Windows. You can get faster rendering speeds on Windows compared, in some cases compared to Final Cut. And that stuff that appeals more to me, I think, to the professional creator in me than the actual buying into the Apple ecosystem just because I have a Mac and I use Apple software. If I'm a Mac user anyway, price really isn't a huge concern to me, because I see the value of price being in relative to what I'm to what it's doing for me. What can it do for me? At this price point, the design looks good just for the people that are coffee shop Mac users. The performance is Windows 10, that signature edition, and it's just, this is the total package right now for Windows. You can't beat this when except in price from somebody else. Hopefully Dell or HP can perfect this design with that $1,000 price point, or even $1,500 for price point. I'm sure this is a hotcake. This will be the next Dell XPS 13 if they can make it a $1,500 price point. But at that premium, I'm a high-end computer user. This is your niche. This is it. This is that MacBook. Like Garnie said, for some people, it's just about flipping the lid over and see that clean Porsche design, and then it's just like the symmetry of the laptop, the curved angles, the Gorilla Glass 5. God, that's Gorilla Glass 5. You know what I'm saying? It's a computer. And then like I said, it has that that Windows 10 creative updates coming out, and it has the pen, the stylus that comes in the box. It's Wacom. Some people prefer Wacom over what Microsoft's doing, and it just doesn't seem like you can't do much wrong here outside of the price. And I don't think the price is that relative. If you're looking at the laptop at all, price isn't an issue. If you look at anything Porsche Design, price isn't an issue. So if that's the only thing holding you back is price, this is sold. This is it.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, this is a portable workstation. This isn't just a, let me take it mobily and be able to type documents. This is a computer. This is a workhorse device that just happens to be mobile. So as you said, this can be your one computer. document when you get home, document when you get to work. But this is the computer. You don't need something else. You don't even need a tablet. This is
everything.
At this size, it's small enough that you don't need anything else. Again, 13-inch. This is it. I don't need my tablet. I don't need another computer.
Well, I still think you might want like an Android or iOS tablet for just for media consumption. So
why not do it with this?
Well, okay. So
actually, Mitch got a Platinum Style said that Microsoft partnered with Wacom for that pen. So probably it's the same type of pen technology. Who knows? But regardless, though, is that Wacom tablets. Hey, Wacom is the Wacom. You know what I'm saying? Everyone loves Wacom if you're in that field. They both got it. This is a tough buy between the Surface Book and the Porsche Design, and I give the win to Porsche Design.
So let me ask you, beautiful device. Definitely clean. Porsche has always had that credibility. But what about the Razer? I mean, those guys are Razers, right? They are ultra. No, I mean these are super gaming, high-end spec, super GPU systems. Touch screen and things like that. These are the things that I'm really sad to see this because I've used the only disadvantage of high-end notebooks or tops is the fan. I mean, they need to suck a lot of air to keep that thing, especially with modern Jeeps that are. Would this, the question I would is Porsche or like the Max, where the case is the heats and very little fans are associated. It's got a lower GPU in it. Again, I'm really curious about this because it does excite me. Wow, we've got a Porsche Design up and made an awesome device. What is this next step? Step up now. Could Razer look at that and hey, can I make 14? They make 14 tops, right? So why don't we go with that 14 and then have similar to what Porsche has done? It's really neat. It goes right back to your use case. Coffee shop browsers versus college student versus work graphic designers. I mean, those are really key things that kick in. And if you heavy graphic designers, a lot of them will lean to touch technologies like the Razers and the Porsche Design stuff, right? So it to me it really it intrigues me. The first two is I wanted one, but I'm waiting for the right one.
Right. I will say this. I don't want to beat this topic too hard. Razer is probably that black sheep right now because they do sell the most bang for buck performance laptop right now. I'm just talking about the Stealth. The Stealth is $1,000. What is it? 16 gigs of RAM, i7, and like a 256 gig SSD, and it has Thunderbolt. For a lot of people, that's an instant sell. For people who like the MacBook design, that's an instant sell. For people that don't like the big old snake on the back, for some reason, I've seen a lot of surveys. A lot of surveys said that for whatever reason they don't like the Razer's like their logo on the back. It's too out there. For some reason, it takes away from the professional look in enterprise. And I think personally, you slap a D brand skin on that bitch and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, that's Razer's problem though. They make these powerful machines, but their design is so geared towards this ultra
gamer,
masculine, alien looking,
big glowing
stuff. Like all these gaming desktops, all game out, they all have this crazy look. And if they would just make it an adult machine, what I'm saying, that's not aimed at kids and teenagers, like same thing on the inside. Just make the design clean, elegant, and professional looking. They would just sell like hotcakes, and we wouldn't be talking about this Porsche thing probably because
exactly, it's the truth. If Razer came out with a silver, with Razer and like funny letters, you know what I'm saying, without the LED light in the back, it's selling. Yeah, no one wants to buy a laptop with purple and green LEDs for your keyboard.
And for what?
It attracts a presentation. You know what I'm saying? You're in a meeting and then it's like, you know,
You don't need it.
No, you're right. You're really right. I mean, is that again? It goes back to what demographic they're going for, right? It's the and of course, you know, the key you could configure off the lights. I mean that or make it all in and make it constantly dim. There, you know, yes, we could talk about stickers on the back or a D brand or some kind of slick on to make it. But I'm thinking, you know, look at these are niche type of laptops, and what's really neat about the Porsche design, it's now step forward and say, hey, these niche laptops are now get some light. Maybe it's guy that has come the MacBook line that's just recently we still two videos about MacBook users crying, right? Latest releases of their MacBooks. And now you see, hey, Windows 10 is starting to grab some build stable environments, right? As long as it doesn't have a lot of wear and you don't go crazy on it. So yeah, this is a good round. I mean, I have both I got a Lenovo lap and I've got a MacBook Pro, and I'm bouncing between two. So it depends upon, you know, if you could afford own device, you want a really nice device, you know, this design is really something. I mean, about it, you could probably sell that thing too. They'll value on that thing. Think about it. Sitting, we'll open just as a browser. I'm gonna say.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we beat this into the ground, but I know Javon was excited, and I become more excited the more I look at this laptop. I'm gonna stop looking at it now before I make a bad decision. So speaking of bad decisions, segue.
There we go again.
Google. Okay, Google. So we have an additional messaging app, and then we've added features to the app that already existed. Jovan, what's going on? What is this?
All right, so Google, listen. So everyone knows I've always been a advocate for Allo, but I can understand the frustration behind the application. I felt that it came out a little bit too rushed because the features that should have been out at the beginning are now kind of trickling down. So, quick synopsis on Allo. Google's messaging app. That's their preferred messaging app for Android, outside of Android Messenger, right? So this is their. I know it sounds stupid, right? But Hangouts is now moving to enterprise, and they want us regular users who use Hangouts every day. It's in the G Suite. That's all we know. It's in the G Suite. They want us regular users to not use Hangouts as much. They want us to switch over to Allo because it has great features. It has Google Assistant built in, tons of like very chatty stuff. It has incognito mode, you know, encryptions, all that jazz. But the problem with that is that for a lot of people who rely on apps like Hangouts and whatever, they use it for SMS messaging because SMS is still very relevant. You know, our RCS isn't out yet, so we use it for messaging and we use it for talking to people who also use the Allo app. The problem is that some people use multiple phones. Some people can only use their phone 4 hours a day because they're at a desktop where they can't use another phone, so they rely on their browser. And with Allo, there's only one way to message, and that's through the phone. That's linked to your phone number, and then they're stuck on that phone, and you can only message somebody with the phone. And we live in a day and age now where that's just not enough anymore. We need to be able to access communications on different devices via a watch, via a laptop or a tablet. So Google's like, yeah, we know that. We just weren't ready yet. So, or maybe they didn't know that and they thought that they wouldn't care. People care.
Crazy.
And they're now dropping a desktop clients down the road, as well as adding multi-sign-in for devices. Now, a lot of people are wondering, is this going to break the encryption? Is this going to stop making it less secure? No, it's going to be just as secure as it was before. I don't think messaging apps are really that secure to begin with. I don't care what anyone says about encryption and incognito messaging. They're secure enough to know that no average Joe is going to get your conversation. But if someone really wants it, they can get it. Look at WhatsApp. You know what I'm saying? If someone really wants it, they can get it regardless. Now, this is a great news though, because a lot of Allo users like me, My whole family uses Allo. I know I have that effect, man. So you know, and they love it. They love it. I know you were the last one too, with Chiltech that dropped out. But you know, they a lot of people are using it. They like it a lot. More people that are introduced to it. Like, oh, this is really cool, and they message. And a lot of people do just use their one phone and don't use laptops or tablets or whatever. So for them, it's fine. But when it comes to you know, the power users, which are a lot of Google users, to be honest, you know, this is now something for them, and I think this is a good step in the right direction. I'm not sure if we're going to get SMS yet because RCS is right around the corner apparently, and they're really pushing that for carriers now. And Allo was already built to run with RCS enabled, so we'll see.
I'll say it before and I'll say it again. I don't understand how Apple can do this and Google somehow can't. Again,
I don't know either.
On my iPhone, I get text message. On my tablet or computer, I see the text messages, not just data messages, the actual SMS text messages on all those devices. It's one app, all the devices. Why is that so difficult to do?
I don't know.
It's unbelievable because even Hangouts, if I'm on the browser app, I don't get the text messages. Like if it's a straight text, I still don't see it. It's still only on the phone. It's a separate chat. Ridiculous. So hopefully they fix this.
Yeah, it is frustrating. I mean, when you start looking at that we have one unified messaging app. I mean, I'm sorry, the Apple hands down has got it. Their messenger done. But the, you know, I'm still struggling with is the basic why. Why all of a sudden now come up with a client Allo? Now I get it. You got your phone. You may working at your desk. Don't need to be on your phone, on your laptop or your desktop or whatever all the time. Why can't we just start off with a? I mean, Hangouts does that. I mean, you can log your phone, or you can look at it on the browser and then roll from there. It just. I understand Google wants to move Hangouts into a bit of a business environment. Allo was it to release Allo? You know, because world is not for it yet. I mean, maybe I we about this earlier, guys, before we got online. You know, the users who use it. That's why it's so good. And I don't mind it. I just don't have anyone leveraging it. I mean, just in my circle of friends, my family use the Google Hangouts app on the phones and on our desktops and on our tablet and even iPad. It just works, and so we could text and we'll message each other. We can video each other, you know, broadcast to each other and things. I just still am confused on the direction. I understand what they're doing. I'm just confused on their vision. That makes any sense. You know, why can't we just have one writing app?
I agree. I think a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel like you, where they want just that one app. And I know the billions of Apple users, they don't have this issue. You know, they're like, you know, our messaging app just works. And if you're not part of that elite, you know, blue bubble, you're gonna get a green bubble, and it's not a big deal to them. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they can still text you normally. They can send you gifts normally. They just can't do all that extra, you know, peek and pop and, you know, all things that Hangouts and Allo, that messaging and Allo does. But the thing about Google is that Google, they're too forward thinking sometimes. And if you know the true purpose of Allo, which really is the lower end, Allo was really designed to get RCS started in those low end markets where India, where the, you know, 3G and OT still isn't prevalent in that area. You know, places in South Africa, South America. There are a lot of island countries and even our own territories like Puerto Rico, where 4G LTE is not really that, you know, it's not really super hot. You know, Allo uses very, very, very small bit rate stuff, and it can send messaging and videos and stuff at a very small data cap, and it does it kind of quick too. You know, so and it has read-write receipts and all those other things that the iMessage has. It's iMessage without the iMessage. You know what I'm saying? Which is really frustrating.
Which is not iMessage at all.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's the fun stuff of iMessage without the work that goes behind iMessage. You know what I'm saying? That sync. It's the sync. People care about the sync more than they care about anything else. So,
right.
Yeah, true.
I'm glad that they're coming out with a desktop app, because it'd be nice to be separate yourself from the phone. You can use Hangouts on my desktop all the time. So it's a great extension of that network stuff.
Yeah, speaking of Hangouts, okay, Jovan. So now we have Google Meeting or Meet. What is it called? It's Meet, right? It's Meet.
Meet, right?
MEET, Meet.
Yeah, Meet. Like a sandwich.
What is this? This is the enterprise friendly version of Hangouts.
Yeah. So
we still have Hangouts.
Hangouts is still here. Honestly, I'm literally waiting for the day that hangouts.google.com is gonna be like ehangouts.google.com. Something that's like, I just feel like they really want to get rid of the people that use Hangouts just for like Google Voice users and all that stuff. But the thing is though, is that Hangouts is integrated in so many things. I just want to go into there's another quick synopsis, but this is quicker than last time. Hangouts is what we're using right now to even stream this cast. We use Hangouts to communicate, throughout the day, because it just works. It's a very stable app. Google does not want Hangouts to be that app. Google wants YouTube to be YouTube Live and YouTube this, and they want to keep things separate. They're trying to get, I think, branding really. They're trying to get the branding together. I think the branding of Hangouts was kind of weird also, but it is a very powerful tool for that enterprise user. So what they want to do is start adding features to it. But they really want to keep saying, "Hey, guys, this isn't features for you regulars out there. This is for the work people, people that have shit to do." So that's where I think this release is here. So Meet is doing, it allows you to have web conferencing, which we're doing now, but much better tools and APIs are for it. It's a very powerful tool from the research I did, and it allows you to host meetings, whether it's text or chat, even video. Even voice meetings. Like it does things that what Cisco and WebEx does. You know what I'm saying?
Like GoToMeeting. Yeah,
exactly. Like GoToMeeting. It does all those things within one application, and it works seamlessly with any Google integration accounts. So that's not just regular Gmail people. That's like people that use Google services or powered by Google work accounts, like Bison Connect and other things that the government uses and private enterprises use as well. So this is a very important tool to make sure that they build that community around this transition to the enterprise session with Hangouts. But be honest with you, they're treating the enterprise users better than us with Allo. The enterprise users are getting a better reason why they should start using Hangouts for their for enterprise, rather than us feeling we should be using Allo for personal and leisure.
Because they could replace GoToMeeting with this new Meet, but we can't replace anything with Allo.
Yeah. And also it's also free calling, may I add too, right? They said that they're doing free calling via voice over IP. So this is actually not only a somewhat free thing. You're replacing a lot of applications and a lot of programs with just Meet. So this is huge.
Yeah, for sure.
Jabber, that's gone.
Yeah,
who needs that anymore? It's crazy.
All right, well, I'm bored by Google, so let's wrap it up on a high note with Javon's latest purchase. We know Javon likes power. He likes the utmost in speed and performance and horsepower. So Nvidia just keeps upping the ante and lowering the price, and they just keep cranking it up. They're trying to really stay ahead of AMD, and they're doing it again. The long-awaited 1080 Ti is here. Javon, why
it's already pre-ordered?
Why does a regular human being need this?
We all need this. Everyone should have this. This is to be a mandate from President Trump.
No one needs this.
I'm gonna tell him, hey man, we all need this thing. It's super cool. It's really awesome, and you know what? It's huge, okay? You're getting huge graphics performance out of this, okay?
This is huge.
This is huge, okay? This is the most qualified graphics card there is, okay? So I'm trying to tell you right now, we need this. So this is, 35% faster than last year's 1080, which is already the fastest card right now in the market. So it's just like they didn't even wait a year, man. They just like bam, bam, bam. I'm so impressed right now. And for those of you guys who want a backstory on my, gaming, I don't even play all that many games anymore, dude. But I need that buttery smooth rendering, and because I use 4K monitors and all that stuff. So I've yet to even max out my 1080. And the cool thing about the 1080 Ti that it works in SLI with the current 1080, and they even dropped the price on the last year's 1080. So we all need this. This is the fastest of all fastest cards. It has just go quick specs. 11 gigabytes of GDDR5X RAM with 3,584 CUDA cores, and has almost a 2 megahertz clock boost. Like, bro. And it only gobbles up 250 watts of power.
Only?
So, only. I mean, now let's be real now. Compared to the Titan cards, this is energy efficient.
250 watts.
This is the same as the Titan X as far as power consumption. Which makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're both Pascal, right?
Which makes sense. Because they're almost equal.
But they're cheaper. And it's also honestly $700 for this power. That's unheard of. Had this been 2 years ago from Nvidia, this is a $3,000 card, guys. All right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a $3,000 card. So this is $700. Let's not forget that we already can't even max out the 1080. If you're buying this because money's not an issue, just know that if you do upgrade next year to whatever 1180 or whatever, you're an idiot. I'm an idiot. So I'm just gonna say this is great. This is great.
Javon, when you win the power, I'm coming over. I want to go shop with you, man.
We're gonna go shopping, man. It's gonna be huge, man.
Yeah, I mean, as far as this is concerned, I'm hoping to win one because I'm part of that Nvidia experience. They're gonna randomly email, I think, 110 people on, I think, March 6th or 7th. So I'm gonna be checking my email that day.
Yes,
maybe I'll get it. I didn't get the last round of freebies they gave out, so maybe I'll be in this nice push. But this is some power. I mean, and again, like Javon said, this is a future-proof card because the previous card isn't even being maxed out yet. So this surely, unless you're trying to run games at 5K, and how many games even support 5K?
I think this can run 8K games, man. Right, I'm trying to say this is pretty powerful.
I don't even understand this. I mean, again, this thing boosts up to 2 gigahertz, right? Like, this is a computer. This is a whole other computer you're putting inside your computer just to render games.
Well, yeah, 250 watt computer that's sitting in there, and think about it. We're talking game, from a GPU stand and all that good stuff. But guys, think of all like Premiere and all video rendering applications that they're the powerhouse going to provide. $700 price point for people who do professional rendering, gaming, but rendering. This, if you could stack these, you could stack these. Imagine the power. I mean, the prototype behind that buttery smooth, and then process those 8K vids that are out there for longer and bigger. So yeah, this is. I mean, for game, way over the top. I mean, I'm sorry, way over the. But it's a good. It's using the. It's not even a year, and here we are coming something that's blows everything away from what they leased. What was it? Third quarter? 1080 was third, right?
Yeah, so it was like early fall.
Yeah, so it's like, dude, so like this poof. What next? We're gonna get to 1090. Coming out. How many CUDA cores is that gonna give us? And can we stack that one too?
It's crazy.
I mean,
it's
the technology. You would think at this point we'll be at a staggering standstill with technology. I don't know how they're doing it. I cannot tell you how they're able to do it, and then lower the overhead. Like, the pricing is the biggest surprise to me. Not the performance, but the pricing for the performance.
Yeah. And I think this is why we're starting to see these basically every other year, maybe even yearly updates for consoles now, because they're not gonna be able to keep up having one console for the next 5 years using 2 year ago, hardware that used to work.
Archaic. Yeah, it's gonna be archaic soon. Yeah.
You can't do that. It's just, it blows out of the water. People are gonna leave consoles and just get a cheap, gaming PC, and it'll last them for the next 5 years. Well, console will not last you 5 years anymore.
Here's the thing, man.
If you build your PC and you know what you're doing, you can swap out the motherboard. You could swap processor, get faster RAM, bigger drives or RAID configuration of the drives. With the slots that are available, enough power supply. Key thing, right? Now we're already in. You should be approaching what, 1,000 watt power should be in your. How many? You gotta ask yourself, how big of a box will it be? Gotta have a lot of things in it. And then how many kilocalories of energy? Because if you got a small room and it's clocking it
hot,
it's summertime every day in that room. So that's it. Then you start looking. I was watching Linus Tech the other day, another those YouTubers out there out of Canada, and he was showing water cooled systems and things like that. This is going? I mean, it's no longer fans. It's going to be cooled now because the amount of heat generated from all of these things. So every watts that we guys, that's a few degrees of right there. And but no, the cool thing is, I mean, you're right. The points to prevent sense to, oh my God, look how this technology is out. It's encouraging. I for the price consciousness in health. I mean, AMD cards. This is also encouraging that if we're going to be competing against videos with the top of the line, 1,000 series cards. What about the X4s or the 4s that are out there from these? Will able to come down in price where you build a $700, like Christian, you said, a $700 gaming tech can last you a few years because the powerhouse that comes these cards. I believe that's I know. So
yeah, and to be honest, most gaming these days, you don't really need to go past 1080 still. I mean, 4K is nice, but 1080 is plenty. And I have the 1060. Okay, that was what, $250. I basically max out current games at 1080p. Current games.
Yeah.
Now that was even when I've been gaming for a long time. That was never the case for any card that I could actually purchase. Be able to max out a current game at full resolution, and that's just what's amazing. That this power is coming down from the enthusiast to the regular Joes that just want a game on a PC. They can buy a game today and play at max settings.
And here's the kicker: because of the 1080 Ti, the 1080 prices dropped
exactly
$700, and we're already seeing sales. We're seeing sales for $400, $450, right? And here's the big push: PlayStation 4 Pro. And even though we are told and rumors that the Xbox Scorpio is going to be a legit 4K gaming machine, let's just say they put a 1070 in there, right? Because they're not going to put a 1080 in there. Let's put a 1070 in there, right? That's still the same cost. It's going to be what, $599, $600 for that Xbox Scorpio. There's no way they're selling that below that. You know what I'm saying? And the PlayStation 4 is what, $500, right? This gaming, the 1080 is now the price point of that card alone that can literally have both of the consoles put together on top of each other and still outperform it by 4 times. Is now $500. There's no reason why you shouldn't be gaming on a PC right now.
Right, and that's probably also why Microsoft saw it's coming, and that's why they have those play anywhere games, because they know just let them buy it.
Yeah,
and they'll play on their PC or the Xbox rather than they don't buy it at all.
Yeah.
But
wow, just think about it. I mean, the solution you can get. I'm sure you're getting high frame rate for all your games. That's pretty amazing. If you do 40 frames per second on games, amazing. I mean, think about GTA or Black Desert, any other games that are out there. That's going to be pretty amazing when you hit anything above 40 frames.
Yeah, I mean,
and you're not pegging it out.
Yeah, I'm with the 1080p. I'm playing, Total Warhammer. I'm playing For Honor. I'm playing, Overwatch. I'm playing XCOM 2. 60 frames per second. I'm capping it with VSync so I don't get all this tearing. But 60 FPS, 1080p, all settings on whatever the highest setting is, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah. We streamed For Honor, was it two Saturdays ago, and I was able to get For Honor. I was streaming at 1080p, but while I'm streaming at 1080p, I'm playing at 4K, reaching anywhere to 70, and then sometimes I'll scale to 100 frames per second playing For Honor.
Wow. That's
and that to me just shows you so that I value my purchase. I'm someone who needs constant validation. I'll buy something and I need to watch 25 reviews on it. I already bought it. I just need to validate my purchase. The thing is though is that it shows to me right now where we at in a stage of technology performance where if I can't do that, I don't want it, because at this point this set the bar. My bar has not been set. I can't go anything lower, and I think Nvidia knows that. AMD knows that. The next video card is going to be something crazy, because we've seen Ryzen things coming out. Ryzen chips are now bonkers. So I'm expecting to see some crazy innovation come summertime. I think Nvidia's going to drop something. They're going to drop something again in the summertime. It's going to be crazy.
The 8-core Ryzens that you had, stack that on top new 1080 Ti.
Jeez, man, right? Oh my
come on.
Oh my gosh. I've really thought about going back to an AMD build from my Intel build, because I really missed AMD, 8 cores and 6 core processors, but Ryzen stuff, man.
Here's the thing. I mean, the thing is, I don't want to down too far, but I mean, when you start looking at the generation of the i7, i5, and the Cabby-like versions of the i7, i5, the 1600 series and 7700 series, they're different differences. They're kind of like okay, it's great that you can get some processor out of these cores, but all of a sudden Ryzen out. We said at the beginning of the CES, the 8 cores get the high enough gigahertz behind that. 6 buses for your memory, and then you throw on that some awesome video cards, either or these these Nvidias. Wow! And again, those less $1,000 computers or towers or desktops you want to look at it are reasonable now, and and like you said, Christian, where Microsoft perfect vision. We don't care where you play it, just play it. These $1,000 laptops. I mean, sorry, all the towers are really kick in for us. Now I just need a cooling unit to go along with it too. So that's the only thing. It's get an air cooling device associated with these things.
Totally.
All right. Well, Javon, make sure you make us some videos once you get that SLI working with that 1080 Ti with your current 1080, because I want to see how that works out.
I actually got to buy new tapes, man.
Right. And a AC unit for your room.
Yeah, that's about to say, man. Where's that new AC unit plug into this? I can't hear you, but oh God, this kid great. I can't hear you.
Right. Oh man.
Thanks for letting me join. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for joining us tonight, Garnie. We had a little bit of robot, but I think we made it through. We had a good time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really do. Thanks, you guys rock. Keep it up. I mean, I love watching guys. And the fun part here is that you guys are passionate about these things. There's a lot of us, and I can't wait to to do more with you because think of the new phones that are coming up. These graphics cards, these games that are going to be recording. It's fun time to be alive, man. It is.
Oh yeah,
for sure. All right, now one other thing. I know, Giovanni, you had a little something you want to say about some up and coming.
I don't want to be that guy, but I know y'all heard it so many times before, guys.
Right.
The website's coming out. I promise. Blah, blah, blah. No, literally, this time the website is practically done. We're just putting some sprinkles on it and expect a video release on Saturday when we actually give you guys the links and the go ahead. So Saturday will be the day that you'll be able to access chilltechstudio.com. And you'll be able to check out written reviews, links to our YouTube videos. You'll be getting our live blogs, and which will be a great place for us to put our content. So that way we're stop posting links from other people's sources. So
yes, it's gonna be good times, folks. It's looking good. It's looking good. The first one, you know, it was, you know, it was.
We have to go back to the drawing boards. It was, yeah.
But you know, Devon went back in there and he did it up. So good stuff coming. Awesome. All right, well, folks. Well, I think that's all for tonight. Garnie, where can people find you?
You can find out on let's start off with just YouTube. Just find Garnie Bowling, GRRNIE, last name Bowling, LLING. Out on YouTube. You can find me same on Twitter and on Facebook.
Awesome,
yeah,
awesome.
Right?
We'll
leave links below. We'll definitely leave links below for you guys.
For sure. And you know where we are. We're Chill Tech Studio on YouTube, the Twitter, the Facebook, and the Instagram. Most recently, Devon likes to post stuff on there with all his new tech buys. So, you know, keep watch on there and stay tuned for some more stuff coming. All right, folks. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Peace.